One of the biggest challenges of early stage startup companies is how to define and manage their sales funnel. There's so many confusing definitions and jargons out there relevant to different types of businesses that makes it a bit difficult to understand exactly for the type of businesses that a particular company is running, what is the best way to define their sales funnel and manage it so that they can systematically bring in new sales opportunity and close on the opportunities in a more systematic way and more predictable way. Today, I would like to look into particularly for the companies who sell equipment or hardware to another businesses, how they can go about to define their sales funnel and how to look at the marketing and the sales and how they work hand in hand in order to become a process that generates new sales for them. So we typically draw the sales funnel as like a funnel a hopper that the new leads come into this hopper and go through a certain processes and ends up being a new customer or a repeat customer who is buying again your product. So on top of this hopper, we call everybody that are out there that could be potentially a user of your product or your product solution can be beneficial to them. There is a large number of those people. There must be a large number of those people out there potentially be a user of your product in order for your business to be viable. So these people, we call them in the universe. In the universe. And what do we mean by in the universe? Means that these are, again, those potential buyers or customers that someday they could buy your product and benefit from what you're offering to the market. So those group of people, you go after them by putting some marketing material out there. In the case of a hardware business, typically you do a lot of trade shows, you do newsletters, maybe even phone calls and email messaging and all that. These are all, you can categorize them as an outbound marketing, and also a bunch of inbound marketing, for example, your website or having some SEOs, bringing people to find you online in a Google search, for example, do some trade magazine articles, for example, some activity on relevant social medias and all that, and in a lot of cases, paid ads. They all bring an inbound opportunities into the funnel, and these inbound and outbound activities are geared towards letting those potential customers in the universe to know about your product and what it can do for them, and when they are ready or they have some need for it, if they are in a pain mode or in a growth mode, for example, and they need your product, they are aware of that your product exists and they know how to contact you in order to do the inquiries. So you're doing a bunch of marketing. So at this point, this is a marketing activity that you're doing on a regular basis in order to get the potential customers in the universe to learn about you and your product and be aware of that your product exists in the market. So among those in the universe at any given time, they could, a small portion of them, they could decide to respond to your marketing message or marketing campaign, and those come to your funnel. Still, we call them above the funnel, but those are the ones that basically respond to your marketing activity and become above the funnel leads. So these are the ones that, let's say, respond to your email campaign, for example, or to your newsletter. They respond to a call to action in your newsletter, or in the trade show, they exchange information with you, and then when you go back and contact with them, they come back and wants to have a discussion with you. So these are the ones that from in the universe, they show an interest to learn more about your product, and they are still above the funnel. They're still in hands of a marketing division, and the marketing division needs to take these above the funnel leads and apply a criteria or a checklist to see if they are qualified as a marketing qualified lead. So we call them the MQL. So it goes through, let's say, a filter. I draw it like this, and the filter is meant to qualify these above the funnel leads to become a marketing qualified leads. So once it becomes a marketing qualified lead, and the criteria could be, for example, the product or solution the customer is looking for is what you can offer or what you have it as your product. For example, it could be the geography that the customer resides in, and whether your company can service in that location. A lot of each company might have their own criteria, but there should be a very well-defined criteria for the marketing people to do the marketing qualified lead activity and qualify those leads that are coming into the above the funnel, and then they as they get qualified, then they are basically getting in the funnel. So after they pass through the MQL filter, they become a bunch of leads inside the funnel, so we call them in the funnel. And at this point, they are in hands of sales. So here it's salespeople, or like a relay in a track and field sport. The baton gets passed on. So the first runner is the marketing, so it's on the marketing side. And then once they qualify as a marketing lead, they get passed along to the salespeople. In an early stage company, it's possible that the same person or same people who are doing the marketing and MQL, they're also doing the sales. Not a problem if that is the case. It's still okay as long as the person or the team knows that at this point we are changing the hat that we are wearing is a sales person hat versus a marketing. As long as that there is that kind of definition and separation, it is okay if the same person in some cases covers both activities. So this area is a marketing, and as soon as it becomes a marketing qualified lead, it becomes in the funnel and it's in the hands of the sales. And now the salesperson has to do a bunch of qualification, much rigorous process to make them a sales qualified lead. And the criteria that typically a salesperson will be looking at is whether the customer has a budget for the product, what is the timeline, what kind of needs they have, much more rigorous need analysis in this stage to make sure that what the customer needs and the problem that the customer is trying to solve matches what the company can offer, and there's no mismatch there. And also a bunch of grounds has to be covered in terms of the authority and who is the different buyers, like the user buyer or the technical buyer or the economic buyer. So a bunch of, again, filters, a much more finer filter here in order to make sure that those that are in the funnel, they go through that process and become, we call it, among the best few. And by the way, I am taking this terminology from a Miller-Hyman sales process and complex sales process for those who want to go and learn more about it, there is a great resource out there on Miller-Hyman complex sales process. So best few are the ones that they pass through the sales qualified lead, or SQL. And again, in the case of a hardware businesses selling to other larger accounts, there's a lot of times that the client might not have the budget right away. So what we have added to this definition over the years is that we create a bucket on the side here that these are in the funnel. They have checkmarked all the qualifications in terms of SQL, other than waiting for the budget to be approved, maybe at the year end or something like that. Then we put them in the funnel and in this bucket that is basically waiting for budget. And at that point, it's typically you have to just check in once in a while to see if still the other qualifications are there and whether the budget is being approved or not. But it stays there. Otherwise, if they don't, and each one of these filters, if the lead doesn't pass the qualification criteria, it goes back to the in the universe, because they could be a customer later, maybe for other product, maybe their needs change, or you have a new product that they can use. So they can typically go back to the in the universe. Here again, the same on the sales qualified lead. If they don't match some of those criterias, they could go back to the in the universe. Only when they are just waiting for the budget, you can still hold them in the funnel, but put them into the waiting for budget bucket. Otherwise, once they become a best few, these are the ones that already are qualified, and now they have to be kind of closed on, and the company can spend a lot more resources in terms of getting them to the finish line, and at the end, the end of the funnel, it's a closed sales. So, which is a success at that point. And if you can see, there is a pretty much a flow here, and let's just say, for example, if you start from 1,000 people in the universe, you might have maybe 100 of them to give you interact or respond to your marketing activity, and then among those, maybe 20 or 30 become pass the MQL, and they basically become in the funnel. And when they go through the SQL process, maybe they become 3 or so that they can pass, and then maybe 1 gets closed. So this is not the exact number, but you can see there is a percentage or a conversion rate, and this is very important for managing the funnel and managing the expectation, and also the sales cycle and how long it takes for a lead to go through this process and become a customer. It's important to have those numbers. You can start with some guesswork, and then as you get the hard data, adjust those assumptions, and eventually you want to build a machine here that the marketing and sales, they work hand in hand, and you can predictably know for every dollar you spend in the marketing to reach out to the in the universe opportunities, how much you are gonna get back as a closed sales, and what is the return on investment on every dollar that you spend on your marketing activities.